Okay, part 2 of the Justice League, going back.
Part 2 of Justice League, thoughts and, as I said, the ending of Ravens, which is weird to me. But rants and raves of
I think
Justice League movie 3 view.
I think John Stewart as the Lantern would work for a Justice League movie. I really do. Because for those who don't know, John Stewart was the ex-Marine, and
I want to say, yeah, he's the one that I see fit to be the Green to begin with.
like, here's the way I see it. Like, Hal Jordan is a good Green Lantern. John Stewart is better in the Justice League, because quite simply he adds.
Yeah, he would complement Batman. And what it comes down to is,
because
Batman is the, like I said before, and I hate using this term, but he's the brains of the operation.
More or less.
He's like the tech guy, is what it comes down to.
More or less, depending on which team.
Yeah, but John, he would compliment Batman the whole time, going, well, to strategize, you can use this instead of this because, well,
and
although you are Batman, you are not single right now. You are a team.
Yeah.
So this is how we do it in the military, as a team instead of, well, there is no one-man army.
And if you guys ever read the Blackest Night or Brightest Day comics, John Stewart does become part of the Indigo tribe simply because of his compassion.
Yeah. Which I think is awesome about every Lantern. Is at least almost all the main Green Lanterns that were introduced became a part of another tribe or corps at one point. Is the intertwining in between the emotions is impeccable.
I think I think Guy would work if they're doing like a B-list sort of team. Because I hate to say it. Well, okay. He works more as a Lantern Corps Guardian.
Mm-hmm.
And that's like when it's not one Green Lantern, but it's many other lanterns.
Yeah, he would work great as an Emerald Knight. Yeah, if anything.
Like, that's why I said the new Guardians. So.
Yeah.
And because I hate to say it, Guy's kind of a jerk. He wouldn't. And if he was in the Justice League, his attitude would not really work with that team.
No, he really wouldn't. He'd kind of almost oppose every idea they ever threw out.
Yeah.
They're like, well, let's go save the road. He would be like, yeah, let's go eat some pizza.
Because at least when he started, he was hot-tempered, he was immature, and he didn't think before his actions. Now, over time, he kind of grew into that leadership role, but for a while, that was just...
Yeah, it had to take time. It took several comics to introduce him as being an actual Green Lantern
which
leader.
is why he works as a new Guardian, because he has finally filled the leadership role to, okay, this is what I have to do.
Yeah, they made him grow up, which actually turns out to be the perfect Guardian style.
Not by he's not natural leader, he's forced to become one.
Yeah. I like that thought.
There's also Aquaman.
I was about to say,
do it.
Gotta do an Aquaman.
I'm sorry. I know Aquaman gets shit from everyone, but
I'm not a huge Aquaman fan, and I would rather not see Aquaman. But
he is. Aquaman
he would make
is
a good actual help.
I could argue why Aquaman is awesome, but the thing is, but he would work mostly in complement with Wonder Woman, as suppose, like, when you think about it, they're both kind of,
they're gods.
Sort of.
Well,
obvious, and Aquaman works, obviously. He is the king of Atlantis, but it's kind of like Superman, where, like, he is an Atlantean, but he's also
he adopted another species, as I would assume would be a accurate quote. He adopted a different species as his main people, considering he would technically be a quote unquote alien, since he is
Not really.
In the sense of the word of
You
merman?
have to realize he lives in a universe where there's talking gorillas too. So,
Well, yeah.
so just the idea of Atlanteans existed is not really far off.
Oh. I'm sorry, I'm yawning, people. My bad.
It's okay.
My bad, YouTube.
It's like,
Those are kind of like the main
I think
people for a
I don't-
Justice League is.
I don't really like. I know I'm gonna shit for this, just like with the Man of Steel review, but I don't think Green Arrow would work in this one.
No,
He would work.
he'd be out of place, almost like Hawkeye in the Avengers. I mean, yeah, he made his moments, but he's almost just there to be there, just
Yeah.
because they can do him
Mhm.
in that version. It fit at that moment when they created it.
He
But looking back, he was basically just there.
like the only thing he really did, like, speaking of Hawkeye, I'm speaking of Hawkeye, obviously. The only big thing that he actually did was like he made the Scarlet Witch good. That was the only reason.
Yeah.
But even then, it's just kind of if. And
It was
as
yeah.
much as I love the Avengers, they just kind of shoved that detail out of there.
Yeah, they really did. It's like
It
he
gives
had
you
his
hints.
moments.
It gives you hints that they were in some type of relationship, but
Yeah, I don't know.
And-
But Green Lantern would not fit. I mean, I don't want to say he's a staple of the Justice League, but he's in quite a bit of animations, and he is referenced quite a bit.
Green Arrow. I'm sorry, but he's kind of a one-note kind of guy.
Yeah.
He's really 2D. Like he's sort of like he's sort of like, I hate to say, he's almost a cardboard cutout of Batman if he was a political activist.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah. I agree with that.
I will say if they do a Teen Titans movie, which I don't know if we'll ever make a video on that, but if they
love me some Teen Titans.
if they ever make a Teen Titans, they should do Speedy, but that's just me.
Oh, I would love to see a Speedy.
Then the question comes: who should be like? Should it be Red Tornado or the Manhunter?
For
Which-
what?
Because they sort of had like I don't want to say it because like when because the Martian Manhunter's always been in the team, but when he's gone, it's always Red Tornado that takes care of everything.
Okay, yeah. Well, I think they can.
I think the Manhunter could work.
They'd probably
At
do
the same
Manhunter
time-
because
At
of
the same time,
storyline.
I hate to say it, but they'll probably just use him at sort of like what they did with Nick Fury. And
Yeah.
yes, I know it's a waste of potential considering the Manhunter has basically all of Superman's powers plus some telekinesis.
Yeah.
But really, when it comes, especially in the comics, that's what he's really used for most of the
Yeah,
time.
he's more of a team captain type coach type thing. If
Yeah.
anything, he's the guy that holds them together, that pushes them. Go, no, you got this. You can do it. I got you. I got faith. So I mean, but if they were to pick the two, it would probably be Martian Manhunter because of the backstory they could put to it, and
Yeah,
because it does make a better backstory than
Red
Tornado.
Yeah, I hate to say it.
I mean, he's
An android that thinks he's human.
it's okay. And your point being, well, you have an
Don't get
alien
me
coming
wrong.
down here that researched human life to figure out what form he wanted to take.
And I think like a Manhunter movie wouldn't work, but set him into like sort of like what they did with the Avengers, where he's there but they don't see him.
Mm-hmm.
Because I hate to say it, but the Manhunter, he is the fish out, almost the fish, sort of like with Aquaman and Superman, the fish out of water story. Except the only difference between those two, where those two, they can like, if you see them on the street, you probably wouldn't think anything else. With with John, with the exception when he like transforms, he's really kind of alone in this world. He's
Yeah.
he's
Well,
alone. He's alone. He's really a loner, and I think probably like the the comic book and movie New Frontier described him best. He's trying to learn human customs.
and that's what I liked about the movie The New Frontier is he landed and researched human life to figure out who he wanted to be in this planet he landed upon. Well, I think that was the best way to do him is well he figured it out through research, which is typical of Manhunter.
Yeah.
He's that type of person. So
All right. On to part tres.
Portrait.